About 70% of all New Year's resolution includes, to a larger extent, financial freedom. However, only 8% of people realize that goal. And research is actually proving that that is as a result of people's actions and inactions, which are to a larger extent determined by their habits. And so if you have the right habits, then you increase your chances, holding all other factors constant, of achieving or pursuing your financial goals and becoming successful. And so in today's video, we're going to talk about the 8 habits that are probably keeping you poor and how you can, more importantly, resolve, address them, and then subsequently steer yourself towards the attainment of whatever financial goal that you've set for yourself to attain this year or probably next year. And so if you're new here, my name is Nana. I hold a master's degree in business finance, and on this channel, we discuss everything personal finance and personal development. And so without further ado, we go to the first habit that might probably be keeping you broke, and that is the habit of having some level of resentment towards riches and the rich altogether. And that leads people to make several negative affirmations like, the rich are greedy, or but money is not everything. These things actually hold you back, in that there is a concept known as the concept of neuroplasticity that says that anytime that you repeat something consistently in your brain, it actually forms some level of bias towards that thing. So for instance, if you see the rich people on telly or anywhere, and the only thing that comes to your mind is that the rich are greedy, or that they are making their money or they are amassing wealth of some level of illegality, then that is actually one of the surest ways for you to fail in life when it comes to setting and the subsequent pursuit and the attainment of your financial goals. As opposed to this, what you have to do is to repeat positive affirmations to yourself and then form that neural pathways or that neural bias towards your ability to amass wealth just like they are doing, and then actually resort to several things that can help you within your abilities and your competencies to build wealth altogether. This brings us to the second habit that might probably be keeping you broke, and that is falling for the subscription trap. So in this day and age, it is much more easier for you to see dozens of apps actually running on your screen, especially when you doom scroll on social media. And that is because most companies know that human beings are emotional beings, and that will be the best time for you to actually be enticed to purchase things based on emotions. And you don't even actually assess whether the things that you're paying for or the subscriptions that you're actually getting to commit to are actually adding any value to you or your life or any other goal that you set for yourself to attain. And so in order for you to actually reverse these emotional purchases, what you can do simply is to sit down every single month and then go through all the purchases or probably the subscriptions that you're still paying for. And that is the best way for you to get the best value for the money that you're committing to any form of subscription. And trust me when I tell you, if you're able to do this on a monthly basis, you'd realize that there are so many things that you've actually purchased and so many things that you're even still paying for that you do not need, in that it doesn't add any value to your life. And so in order for you to actually reverse all these canker and then protect yourself by way of steering yourself towards the attainment of your goals, you have to sit down and then go through your subscriptions and then try as much as possible to cancel all the needless ones that you might not actually find or get any value from. This brings us to the third habit that might probably be keeping you broke, and that is a habit of subconsciously wasting food. So according to research, the average household in the US actually wastes anywhere between $1,400 and $1,500 every single year due to food waste. And that is something that can actually do a lot, especially if you're able to save even half of that. And that would actually ensure that you have enough saved and, more importantly, enough invested towards whatever goal that you have financially. And so these are the 2 ways that you can actually cut down on food waste altogether. The first thing that you can actually do is to actually plan your meal, and that is what 1% of people or the richest people in the world actually do. They know what they are taking at every single point in time throughout the week, and that helps them to avoid food waste altogether. Secondly, what you can do is to avoid purchasing groceries in bulk, because groceries have the highest level of perishability, and so you may not be able to actually preserve them for a very long time. And so try as much as possible to resort to these 2 strategies, and that would help you to save more and then, more importantly, invest towards the attainment of whatever goal that you have for yourself for the year. This brings us to the fourth habit that might probably be keeping you broke, and that is the habit of avoiding price comparisons. So one of the key things that you can actually resort to in order to save more and then invest more, which also increases your chances of becoming financially free, is to actually compare prices and avoid impulse purchases. So one of the easiest ways to go about this is to actually shop directly in the shops as opposed to shopping online, because anytime that you shop online, sometimes the convenience actually eats into your head, and then it actually prevents you, or once you're able to see all these ads and the promotions and the 20 or the 40% off, it actually makes you think that you're actually saving. As opposed to this, you may want to walk into several shops or actually shop on several other online platforms and then compare the prices in order to get the best value for whatever money that you're spending on whatever thing that you need or you may want in life altogether. This brings us to the fifth habit that might probably be keeping you broke, and that is saving instead of investing. So most people actually think that they can actually save their way towards financial freedom and then attain it altogether. Sometimes this might be true. However, in most cases, you cannot actually save your way simply towards financial freedom. And that is simply because of the concept of inflation. And inflation, for the avoidance of doubt, is the rate at which the prices of goods and services in an economy rise. And so holding all other factors constant, the more you save, the more likely you are to lose money due to inflation, because the prices of the things that you may actually purchase this year may be relatively lower than the prices that you're likely going to pay in the future. And that is why you may want to invest so that you earn some level of returns on that investment to offset the damages that are usually caused as a result of inflation. And that would help you and then actually present you a better opportunity towards the pursuit and the attainment of whatever financial goals that you have set for yourself in life. This brings us to the sixth habit that might probably be keeping you broke, and that is simply because you resort to credit purchases instead of cash. So one of the key things that you need to know is that credit purchases sometimes can be extremely costly, in that if you're to miss out on those minimum payments, it actually attracts interest as time goes on. And so what you can actually do instead is to try as much as possible and then purchase items that you need or you want with cash. According to a recent survey, using buy now pay later services actually entices people to spend in excess of 40% more than their budget, and that is simply because you get to purchase the items and then it is spread over 4 equal payments for you to make them subsequently down the line. And that is one of the best ways for you to actually expend beyond your budget and then attract unnecessary interest, which also actually hampers your ability to attain your financial goals altogether. And so what you really want to do is to avoid unnecessary credit purchases and then try as much as possible to purchase items that you need with cash. Or what you can also do is to delay purchases, try and then save for the things that you need, and then once you have everything saved up, try and then buy them with cash as opposed to credit purchases. And so with that said, we come to the seventh habit that might probably be keeping you broke, and that is succumbing to lifestyle creep. So most people out there tend to compare their lives to so many people out there. And in this day and age, it is much more easier for you to actually succumb to the pressure on social media and all of that. And that this person has actually got that luxury bag, so I've got to get it. Or that person has actually purchased a new car, so I also have to get a new car. What you have to know is that there are differences in income levels, and what someone might actually be paid at the end of the month is way higher than what you might be earning. So you need to try as much as possible and then budget within your means and try as much as possible to expand within that budget. Try not to get actually pressured into spending beyond what you earn and succumbing to lifestyle creep, which to a larger extent will plunge you further into debt by way of you having to purchase things that you do not need or things that might not be delivering any value to you. So you have to run your race, focus on your financial goals, and then try as much as possible to stay disciplined enough to expand within your budget. This brings us to the eighth and the last habit that might probably be keeping you broke, and that is resorting to passive consumption. So passive consumption, for the avoidance of doubt, is, for instance, for a clear example, you sitting down to watch telly. Now, in a recent survey, about 67% of about 233 wealthy people that were surveyed actually reported that they watch less than 1 hour of telly every single day. And even when they do watch telly, they watch productive programs that are actually going to educate them or open their eyes to several things or help them to actually attain some level of education or competences when it comes to the goals that they've set for themselves in life to attain. So what you want to do is to try as much as possible to manage your time. Cut down on the entertainment and anything that may not likely actually help you or push you a step towards the attainment of your financial goals. Try and listen to podcasts about finances and how you can actually save, which investment might actually deliver the best of value to you and increase your chances of becoming wealthy. And if you're to actually subject yourself to these things, then surely you're going to join the 8% of people who set resolutions and then eventually see the realization of same. And so if you found value in this video, kindly smash the like button and then consider subscribing, because I'll be shooting several videos down the line on personal finance and personal development. Thank you for spending time with us, and see you in the next video.